A flyweight fight here. Kevin Borjas coming in at plus 275 against Victor Diaz, sitting at minus 450. Kevin Borjas, 8-1, 4-1 in his last 5, 11-2 record for Victor Diaz, 5-0 in his last 5. 32 years of age for Victor Diaz. You can see the bald head there. 5'6" for Diaz. He's a pretty big flyweight. If you watch, he's fought at bantamweight before, and he's just a big dude for 125. Kevin Borjas, not a small dude either. If you look at his only loss is to Renzo Mendes. And if you look at Renzo Mendez's record, he lost to, what's his name? Bogdan Grad, the guy we talked about earlier, who fights at lightweight. So Renzo Mendes now fights at lightweight. He beat Kevin Borjas at 135 back in the day. But we're talking about Kevin Borjas here, 8-1. Honestly, all of his wins by knockout. His only loss is by submission. He's never been to a decision. He's an all-action fighter. I don't believe the competition has been that great. How good can it really get down? There's a lot of these like Peru versus Brazil type promotions where all the fighters from Peru are fighting dudes from Brazil, or they're just all Peruvian. The regional scene down there is not the best. If you watch a lot of those fights and you watch how Borjas fights, he's going to hunt the right hand. That's really what I picked up on, is like he wants to land a big straight right hand. And I don't want to say he telegraphs it, but he just hunts it down so much that it's like, all right, he's always got it loaded. He just wants to throw it. For Victor Diaz, he wants to get you to the ground. He wants to use his jiu-jitsu and submit you. That's probably why he's a big favorite in this one, because Borjas relies on that right hand. If you take that away from him and get him on the ground, he's probably not going to look that great in there, and his only loss is by submission. So I'm going to go with Diaz. I think he gets it done. But for him, he's got to get it down early and get Borjas uncomfortable in there. What are you thinking?
Yeah, if Borjas wins this fight, I think it's got to be by finish. He's got to knock him out on the feet. Yeah. But at the same time, it's going to be harder to do than I think he probably thinks. Diaz does leave his chin out there at times when he gets in these striking exchanges. On the feet, though, he will throw good kicks to the leg, to the body. That's kind of like his main strike. Like, he'll throw some wild hooks in there, but his main thing is like get the kicks going. He wrestles really well after and will get takedowns, and his submission game is obviously good. That's how he wins most of his fights. And that's how Borjas has lost his only fight, is by submission. Like you said, the competition for Borjas doesn't look to be that good. You watch film, most of his fights have just stayed standing, and he wins in the first round. So that's another thing, too. If Diaz comes in here and starts wrestling and gets past the first round, what's Borjas going to look like? He doesn't have a lot of experience going past 5 minutes. So, yeah, overall, I think this is Diaz's fight. Like I said, on the feet, he's not bad. Leaves his chin open a little bit, but if he's serious about this whole thing and has a good game plan, he's going to come in, get the fight to the ground, and work that submission game and put Borjas into unfamiliar territory and get the win. I think he's got to get the takedowns early and not even give Borjas a chance to get the striking going, because Borjas is powerful and a good striker, more technical striker than Diaz will be. And but I think this is Diaz all the way, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, this is the third opponent for Borjas. He was supposed to fight Joshua Van and then Rickson Tai Zenidim, but ultimately gets Victor Diaz, who is just not a great matchup for him, I don't think. So I got to go with Victor Diaz, probably by sub, round 1 or 2. That's probably what I'm thinking.